Welcome to Listen.
Teacher chatter.
This is Robin.
And Jill.
Hey, we haven't seen each other in a while.
I know. I feel like
busy.
Yeah, it's been busy and feels like we got a lot to catch up on.
I know.
Thinking about highs and lows, and I'm like, man, how the list
I know.
probably on both ends has
I know.
grown.
And I actually was thinking, I was like, did I tell that story? How long ago was that? I was like, I need to write down so I remember what I've told and what I haven't told.
Well, that and the fact that we're coming up upon 3 years.
I know. Is it?
Yeah, I think this is season 4 because we had like a little mini one or something. But it is 3 years in January.
Yeah.
Wow.
Man.
Is that right?
Time flies. It has, 100%.
Oh.
Well, you've been away from me. This is your second year away from here, right?
Yeah.
And we did it for sure.
No, this is my 3rd year away.
And we started it when you were here.
Yeah.
So is it our 4th year?
What? No. We're going to have to do the math on that
later.
We'll do the
math. We'll let you know.
Oh my gosh.
That's crazy.
It is crazy. Okay.
Anyway, so you go first because your
highs
and your lows.
That makes sense. My high is going to be that in the last couple of weeks we have hatched baby chicks in the library. And I've done that, for several years in my classroom.
I didn't know what you were doing in the library.
Yeah. Somebody asked me the other day, they're like, so does your principal know? I was like, I just kind of figured it was fine.
Everything's fine.
He's very supportive. So, actually, but
not after this podcast. He doesn't realize.
He realizes.
Just kidding.
Oh, but what's been really cool about it is that, in the past, it's been my students and maybe some others, a few others that have been able to experience it. But now it's literally the entire building of kids.
Yes, no, I actually love that.
900 kids are fascinated with the chicks. And hey, I'll tell you what a great reward system is. They come into the library and I'm like, listen, you do X, Y, and Z and you do it well and quiet, you're going to get to pet a chick. And they're like, oh! And
that is actually pretty awesome.
Every class except for one.
There's always one.
I know.
There's always one.
Every class that I talked to about that except for one. And all the others were like, yeah, like even some of the little rowdy groups, they were like, it's going to be worth it. And they just, 1 finger, 2 fingers on there. And there's like, they're so precious. I don't know how the chicks feel about it, but they've been fine. Yeah.
How many chicks have you hatched?
We hatched 4.
4.
Yeah,
very
which
nice.
is a good number.
Yeah.
So we're happy with that.
Good.
My low of the last couple of weeks, and I was saying this earlier to Robin, like I don't even feel like it's necessarily low. It's more like just like a funny, but you have to be the right kind of person to handle it because I was not happy in the moment. So that maybe kind of goes with it. But this was a couple weeks ago in the library before the chicks hatched. So I couldn't put them, over somebody's head on things. But I was doing a lesson and I had a table of kids that just kept talking or being distracting, those kind of things. And I was just like, stop. And so I said different things in the lesson. And at the end, I was just like, my last straw was, I was like, you guys will sit there when I am done, when everybody else is checking out, and we will have a conversation. So I get over there and I'm about life lessons. Let's figure out this.
Yes.
And so most of the kids that were at the table were like, yes, ma'am, I'm sorry. Yes, we were being distracting. We were talking. We shouldn't have been doing, all of those things. And whether they're giving lip service or not.
You appreciate it.
Yeah.
You sound sincere.
Except for one.
Oh, no.
And one of them looks at me and says, well, it wasn't a distraction till you brought it up.
Ooh.
And I was like, And I said, the rest of you can leave.
Yeah.
You can stay.
Oh, man. Doesn't it amaze you that some of these kids are mouthy like that? Can you imagine talking to an adult that way?
No.
Honestly,
no.
I just, as a kid, I cannot imagine ever talking to my teacher that.
I think he kind of started with a mumble, and I was like, what are you saying? And he's like, well, it wouldn't have been a distraction. And then, and what was sad to me, honestly, was beginning of the year, this kiddo had some of those kind of things. And then he was doing such a great job. When they'd be in the library, and I'd see in the hall, all those things. And then we took and I told him, I was like, here's the thing. You've taken all these steps forward, and now you've taken a big step back with being and I was like, what did you gain with that? And you could see he's kind of processing, but he was kind of and that's the hard part about in my situation where I don't get to be around the kids that much. you can build the relationships and it's just different, but you don't have that consistency.
Daily,
Yeah.
yeah.
So anyway, but yeah, it wasn't a distraction till Mrs. Weedle brought it up.
No, it's really all your fault. When it comes down to
I know. Like, what? Oh, you made a choice. Okay. What do you got?
Well, my high, listen, I have lots of good friends this year, but one of mine.
Just this year? Is this a new thing?
No, there's lots of friends,
Oh,
but you know.
okay.
But I have one buddy this year that literally is the funniest kid ever. Like, he literally is I don't think he could ever do wrong in my heart. I know he's exhausting, but he's so funny and he's so happy. He just loves life the fullest. Yeah. And I could talk to him all day. Like, literally, he's so funny. So I sent him back from my room. He had a break, went back to his class, and all of a sudden I get a text from his teacher that says, well, your buddy was coming back, and Miss Carlton came and let me know that she caught him in the hall because he was knocking on the music door and running and hiding. And I said, and then would do it a couple times while she opened the door and he'd run and hide. And I said,
like a ding dong ditch.
Yeah, that's exactly what And so I said, funny, not funny, happy as fun. I was like, okay, send him down to me at recess. So I sent him, I said, buddy, do you know why you're here? He said, because I was knocking on the music door running. I said, yes. Why were you doing that? And he said, because I just thought it was so funny. And I was like, you know what? That's the truth.
Yeah.
So now I had to not laugh about it.
Oh, did you not laugh?
I did not laugh with him. Now, I laughed before he got there.
Yeah.
And after he left.
You kept it together.
I kept it together.
Good
but
job.
You know what he says to me every time? I know, Miss. He always does this. I know, Miss Hammond. No knocking, just walking.
Is that what you told him?
That's what I told him. And every time he leaves my room, he said, I know. No knocking, just walking. And then he says, he does a tiger hold like this, and he points his two fingers at me. And I laugh and there's not a time he says. And he said, and it's not funny. I know it's not funny. You're right. It's not funny. I'm like, it's a little funny. But anyway.
This is when we have to be an adult.
But I was like,
I kind of feel like I want to do that now.
I know. Can you imagine? And
yeah.
How funny that would be. And he's so smart. Like, he is so smart. But yeah, just a little door not
little knock it in the ditch. Well,
so that's my high.
Okay.
And my low is it's part of last night. My school got together and we went to go eat. We were gonna do Friendsgiving last weekend, but we had a day off and it was just hard to schedule. So we decided we'd just go eat Mexican right after school. Whoever wanted to come.
Yeah.
So
sounds there was like a good Mexican meal.
Yeah, 26 of us came. 26 people.
Good Thanksgiving meal.
Yes, we like to. You know what? We like to celebrate all cultures. Okay?
Yeah. Yes.
So anyway, then after that, I went to see Beauty and the Beast at an area school.
At an area school.
Okay.
Okay.
The kids play or high school play. But listen, I'm getting old. I can't go out to dinner with people, then go the play didn't get over to like 9:45. I was tired. I said, listen, I need to go to the 2:00 place because I was like,
where's the matinee?
Where's the matinee? Because it's hard getting older. I need to be in bed by 10:30. And we were always up to like 11:30, 12, like for the longest time. Listen, 10:30 is my max, and I was so tired. And I'm tired today
because
I can't do fun things. I can't do fun things during the week. It's just too much.
You remember
too much.
Back in the day in college when you could stay up.
Listen.
Like, you didn't go to your friend's house till 10.
10:30, 11.
Yes.
No. And now I'm like,
gosh.
And I used to even, my husband likes to stay up a little bit later, and I couldn't even go to sleep without him. Like, I liked us to be both in bed.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, see ya. Like, just be quiet when you get to bed. I'm out of here. So anyway, I'm just getting older.
It's getting older.
All right.
Man.
All right, so we thought, you know what? We've had parent-teacher conferences. How'd the book fair go?
It's great.
And actually, I want to say, listen, shout out to your church. Your youth pastor came and volunteered and got helpers. Like, listen, I'm involved in my church and I love my church, but I thought, man, kudos to them.
I know.
That was impressive.
I appreciated it very much. He just texted me and was like, hey, I was thinking, do you need help with that? And he would probably help out with anything around. He's on the list. But anyway, yes, he's a good
That
dude
was so
for
exciting.
sure.
And so it was successful. And
Yes,
everybody
it
well.
was. And it
All right.
felt good.
Well, good. So we've got parent teacher conference, book fairs. We just had a lot on our plate.
Yeah,
So we thought we'd play a little game called Never Have I Ever Teacher Edition.
Oh gosh, I haven't looked at any of this.
I know, and I haven't really looked at it. I've only glanced to see if it was something we could do.
Okay.
So we're gonna go through these.
Yeah.
And we're gonna see Never Have I Ever.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
I'll do the first one. Never have I ever broke the copy machine.
Yes, I have.
Oh, I totally have.
Well, how can you not? It just
Because listen, there's
not broken.
because
It's not on purpose.
but there's 1,000 copiers. I mean, we make copies all the time.
Yeah.
They get written down all the time.
Yes.
There's always a jam.
Yes, I feel like it is a thing the copy machine people have done. Do not. It's like back in the day, they said that hose never ripped, and then they figured out nobody would buy new hose, so then they made it so it would rip. It's the same thing with the copy machine.
It's so irritating.
So, yeah,
we
but
went
not like broken it. It's just been like paper jam, and then you have to, actually I had to fix one today. The funny ones.
I stay away from when it's fixing.
Well, what's funny, but it's like people ask my job
kind of falls
now,
under your...
kind of not, but no, I just happened to walk in. I was like, oh, the lights are blinking, and so then I fixed it.
Well, look at you.
I know, but I love that it gives me pictures, and it's like step one.
That does help, but
Open
sometimes
this.
when it doesn't work, that's so frustrating.
True.
That's very frustrating.
Yep.
Okay, your turn.
Never have I ever had to drink cold coffee.
I'm not a coffee drinker, so I've never had to do that.
No, me neither. Yep. I'm sorry.
I can't imagine. I actually don't even know how people like iced coffee. I just don't feel like those two things go together anyway. But I'm not a coffee drinker.
I know.
So guess what?
Many people have. That was a bad one. I should have skipped it.
It's all right. Never have I ever used a permanent marker on a whiteboard.
I have not.
You know what? I have. I know that's right, you. And then one time I was at a parent-teacher conference with a kid, and their sibling came and took a permanent marker and wrote all over my whiteboard. And the mom never said anything.
Guys.
So I had to get up and take it and put it away all over the board.
If you bring a younger sibling into a parent-teacher conference, we understand that sometimes things happen, but mostly you need to try to make sure it doesn't happen. But they cannot be wild.
No, they cannot.
At least show your A parent game in front of the teacher.
Yes.
You know?
Please act like you're responsible.
Yeah. I did have a kid that wrote on my board, and I don't even know. I think somebody had put them, I don't know how it happened, but they were in freak out mode. They're like, Mrs. Weedle. It's actually really easy to get off.
Yeah, just an expo marker, but.
Yeah. Put it over it and.
Yep.
Yes. All right. Never have I ever worked on lesson plans during a PD.
Listen, isn't that the best place to do lesson plans?
I know.
I'm actually sad when I don't have lesson plans to work during the PD.
Yeah. And see, people get smart though, principals or anybody that's putting on the PD, and then they put it in places where it's harder for you to hold your computer.
Yes. Listen, at our school, sometimes we go to the high school and think that's almost impossible. But give me a desk, by golly, I'm for sure working on something.
That's right.
Set me on the back row.
You go to the auditorium, you're like, I can't work on the things I need to work on. I guess I'll just have to check my email.
I know.
As you see people scrolling through Facebook.
And listen, I am going to tell you, I am one of, and maybe that's understand the kids that I work with. I work better when I'm doing two things at once. Like I either have to be doodling, I have to it's hard for me just to set and focus. Like I'm listening. I'm still all into the PD.
Are you?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. I am a maximizer with my time. It's one of my strengths. If I feel like my time is being wasted, then I need something else to do because I start getting antsy and I start and then I become a distraction. So if I do not feel like my time, if the PD is not actually beneficial, that is when I can get into trouble. I'm that kid. So either give me a really good PD that I need and I need to focus on and it's good, or let me do this.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Okay. Oh, is it my turn?
Mm-hmm.
Never have I ever gotten excited over new Flair pens. Oh, any special pens. I am a pen snob.
Oh.
I am. I like nice pens. I love how they feel. I get excited.
So
I'm not, and it doesn't have to be Flair. I like different kinds. Like I love this right now, the Sharpie. I'm not a Sharpie S gel.
Yeah.
I love these.
I understand it, and I think I've been there at different times. The Flair pens bleed through.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm kind of like, it's like a
Yeah.
marker. Like, go buy the colored markers.
I think there's a time and a place for flair.
Yeah.
But
I have gotten excited. You know, mine are the erasable pens.
yes, I don't feel like they write smooth though.
Man, but they erase.
I know.
Like,
but-
I do think that they don't, like, maybe not
Yeah.
write as smooth as some other
Yeah.
ones, but the fact that I can write in pretty colors.
Yes, and erase.
And then erase it.
I see it. I do see the joy of it.
And now, like, I still appreciate them, but I don't get excited.
The
about,
erasable.
yeah, like, I don't, if I get new ones, I'm not like, yay, my pens are in. I don't do that.
I love it. A brand new one, like, and I love smooth. I love it.
Okay.
So yeah, I really do get excited about that.
Never have I ever spent too much money on my classroom.
I'd like to know your answer on this.
You really want to know my answer for this? I think early on, but let's be honest, I'm a thrifter.
I know. I was gonna say I would think you would be no.
So I don't know that I've ever went crazy on it. Even whenever I started, that was probably when I spent the most money on my classroom. And I'd had some very generous people that had given me gift cards. So that helped me get started with some stuff. And then my books from my classroom library, I was going to garage sales and getting those suckers for like 10 cents a piece. So that was not bad.
No.
So actually, I would probably agree with this. And I did my $100 budget every year.
I would think you were a no. Now listen. Ding, ding, ding. I probably still spend too much money. I don't even have out of the classroom anymore. I do the same thing every time. So, listen, I could drop $75 on decorations. What are you talking?
Gosh.
So, listen, I 100%, I'm not even proud of myself for that. But yes.
But here's the thing. This is where we are different. I had kids talking about it today. It's again with the decorating piece period. I'm not that person.
No. And that's okay.
Like in my home, I'm not even like, again, Christmas isn't going wild at the Weedle house. I know. With like my decorations and all of that. But yeah.
Yeah. No, I believe it, but
but my classroom was still a happy place.
No, 100%.
Kids like to be.
You be you.
I know.
That's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Listen, you're good.
That $100 budget, man, you can get that going far.
Not that far. I don't know where you're buying your stuff at the bin store because $100 don't go that far. I've tried it, okay? I don't even need many supplies anymore and it didn't go very far. So, you a liar. Okay. Oh, never have I ever had a student cut their hair or clothing.
Like the kid?
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. I'm in the middle school, so I don't.
You probably wouldn't know.
They probably did, and they didn't tell me. You know what? Last year, I did. I had one of my girls, and the kids were like, she cut her hair. And I was like, what? And I looked at her, and she was like, well, the problem with middle school kids, with cutting hair in particular, is they think they're doing something cool. Yeah. Like, they're, either trying to impress people, like, look, I'll cut my hair, cut this pant. Or they're looking at a webcam or something if they get a chance and sneak that away. And that was what I think she did. I think it was one of the elective classes while she was gone away. I think she'd gotten the webcam out and was like cutting on some of those bangs, trying to make her bangs or something. So, yeah.
Listen, yearly. I had people cut other people's hair in the class, their clothes. It's like, that's elementary world. If no one's cutting hair or clothes, have you really even had a good year? So you know what, 100%.
This reminds me. Have I told you the story about when I was in kindergarten and nobody cut anything, but it was one of these, like, I got this jacket I was so proud of, and I come. It's like Christmas or my birthday. They're this like same time of year, and I'd come and it's like a jean jacket. I mean, it was very 90s.
Yeah,
and this little boy spit on it.
Why?
I don't know. I guess he didn't like my jacket. It was one of those moments. And so this reminds me of like also those things when kids are like not happy that somebody else either has something or they're just tempted to do something. Oh man, that still lights a fire under me. So, all right. Never have I ever spent the weekend scrolling social media for new ideas.
I'm anxious to hear your answer on this.
What? Why do you what about you?
I want to hear yours first.
I'm gonna go with like the whole weekend. No,
A big chunk.
I would say yeah, that not like every weekend, but
No.
definitely at times new ideas and my new situations.
Yeah. I do too. And this is not a teacher thing,
Yeah.
but I got on these reels of DIY Dollar Tree Christmas things.
Yeah.
I know we talk about this all the time. I have saved all of them because I want to be that person. I told Maddie, this starting next weekend, we're going to create a Christmas holiday decoration till Christmas. We're going to the Dollar Tree because I've been saving all these.
Yeah.
And we're going to create, you get a piece of wood, you hot glue these trees, you add these lights. I want to be that person.
Robin.
And
Robin.
I want you to tell you something else I want to do.
I cannot wait. Can you post what you guys
I'm gonna give it
create?
to you for Christmas.
No,
And your birthday. Good news. They'll be both.
It's a combination
And
gift.
I also want, I'll probably make two. You're a big combo. I'm making it every time. Another thing is, I feel like I want to do the wood. I want to be a wood burner decor. So right now I have it in my cart. And you know that you can get like pretty things and I can stencil your name. I can put a butterfly for your library.
Are you crafty?
No, but I want to be. But it's a little bit more expensive, so I haven't just bought it yet because I feel it's gonna look like it was a kindergartner doing like Jill, like that strange and stuff. And I'm gonna regret it, or I'm gonna burn my finger off, but I want to do when I scroll. I feel like they're saying, you can do this, Robin. You can do it. And you should see me. I mean, I'm just saying things left and right.
Your goal is to get a picture of what it's supposed to look like. And then you need to create these as reels.
Okay.
Like the picture of what it should look like, and then just scan over to what you created.
Okay, I'm going to.
We did that. Yeah, I want you to do it. This is a plan. I feel like we'll get lots of views. Okay. Which, by the way, we do have Instagram.
It's a good time to post.
Facebook, TikTok.
Speaking about the whole weekend, we got you some things to do.
Yeah.
Share it.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
Okay. Oh. Never have you ever taken a sick day when I wasn't sick.
We were just talking about this. Because the idea of PTO days, there are some school districts that have no PTO and it's all sick days. So if you have 10 days, it's only for sick days. And then some people you have 10 days and they're all PTO, like whatever you need to do. Our district has kind of a mix, 3 PTOs, or it could be 4, and then the rest would be 6 or sick days. Never have I ever. I mean, I don't know.
Here's the thing.
I have created appointments.
Yes.
So that I could take the day.
Yes. But we go to the appointments.
Yes.
So we did have a doctor's appointment.
Yes, because I feel guilty.
Oh yeah, listen,
to lie.
It feels like you are going to get caught.
Yeah.
I mean, not worth it.
The appointment might be
at 8:05.
Right.
You're back home at 8:30.
Right. I will say this. This will be my confession. I did make it a plan to make an appointment one time, and I didn't get to it. So actually, yes. Yeah, I did. I just remembered it. I was like, it feels like I've been guilty of this once. Yes, one time.
I'm glad you're being honest.
Yeah, I have to be because it would bother me. I get it off of my, my chest here. So I had planned. Yeah. I really did need to take a day off for something, and I had planned to schedule an appointment. And what's funny about it, now I'm going to add to this, because then I realized the day approached and I hadn't made an actual appointment. The day of, I am calling a place to try to get an appointment, and there were none available.
You're like, I'm just doing the walk-in clinic when you go say what's wrong, nothing, but can I say hello to the doctor? Can I pay my $30 copay call a day?
You can do like a chiropractor appointment. Dentist, I can always get do a chiropractor appointment. That's true. And so that was the plan, and it never happened. So yes, one time, and now that I've said it to everybody,
now she can't be trusted.
Yeah, I said it was one time out of 17 years. That's not too bad.
My sweet boy that I talked about earlier said, "Hey, I might cause trouble, but I'm honest."
Yeah.
I appreciate that. You may have done it, but at least you're honest.
Here's the other thing, though. I hate that people have to even think about it. It would
I know.
be so
No,
much
it's
better.
right.
And people do end up
Yes.
lying, and they
Yes.
don't want to, but
No.
but things come up that you need a day off for, and if
Yes.
you don't have PTO days,
No.
what are you supposed to do?
And listen, we're dedicated and we do
Yes.
work hard.
Come on.
Yeah.
All right. Never have I ever had someone cover my class to run to the bathroom.
Oh, mother of pearl.
If you haven't done that,
Listen.
then what's the deal? And at least you got somebody to cover your room.
Now listen, I'm gonna be honest.
Mhm.
I have belly issues all the time. So people that were next to me knew. Like, I didn't even have to say there. I think they could see my eyes and be like, "You go on, I'll get your class covered." Like, it's like people. That's the first day I was like, "Listen, you're my new neighbor.
Uh-huh.
We need to get straight. We're going
Yeah.
straight to a personal level.
Yeah.
I gotta go."
When I gotta go, I gotta go.
Yes. So
Well,
100%.
I know. That's what I was like. How could you not? Like, that's the
No.
life that we're living here.
Yes.
Okay, what do you got?
Never have I ever had a student lick items in my classroom.
I don't know. Probably.
Listen, I've been licked.
So gross.
I've been licked this year already.
Ew.
And I think it was my toe.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Your toe got licked?
Yeah, it was a kindergarten.
Robin!
It was a kindergarten.
What is
and
happening?
Yeah, it was nasty. So yeah.
Licked your toe?
Yes.
No,
Yes.
I've never been licked, and I'm sure someone has. Again, this is like middle school world
Yeah.
where they probably have done something ridiculous like this, but I don't remember anybody saying I've been licked, Mrs. Weedle. Like I know that they've been like they just keep staring at
Yeah.
me, those kind of things. But I feel like the licking game is over. by
I would
middle
hope
school.
so. I would hope so.
Oh, your toe, gross. And is it my turn?
Yeah.
Never have I ever had a parent yell at me. I would like to know your answer on this.
You know what? Unfortunately, I have. And I can only think of, honestly, I can only think of one time in my whole career that someone's flat out yelled at me. And you know what? Still to this day, that child has been graduated probably 3 or 4 years. And when I see his mom out of the public, she probably doesn't remember me. My heart still races. They were not very nice, and
That's ugly.
it still leaves a bad. And one time in my whole career,
Yeah.
I think it's because we're people.
Yeah.
People. Is that word? People, persons,
Yeah.
people, whatever.
People,
people.
person. What?
Anyway,
What is that?
we're people. We're purple people. I don't know what we
Purple
are. Anyway,
people
we're
eaters.
Yeah. But I think that's so hard when you really try. And like, I've made
Mm.
mistakes with kids before, but I'm always like, listen, I know. And I even said that to a point, but the child was disrespectful. So I took something away and they thought I shouldn't have. And I said, I can see where you're coming. Like, I was very nice, but they called the principal in on it. And it was very stressful. And I will always remember that. How about you?
Not yet.
Oh, you're lucky.
I mean, I've had parents like kind of be hateful or
Yeah.
like really direct and like snappy,
Yeah.
but not like yell.
Yeah.
I don't know how I would like even when they were very direct and kind of hateful towards
Yeah.
me, it depended on my mood how I handled it. Like one time it was on the phone and I was like, I would love to know how you would have handled the situation.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, I just don't think that was the right way. And I'm like, what would you have done instead?
Yeah.
And they had nothing. So that was cool.
Yeah.
The other, yeah. I don't know how I'd handle yelling.
And I don't know. I wouldn't even say maybe they flat
Even
out
those people,
yelled.
though, I still get a bad taste in my mouth.
But they were very hateful and kind of raised their voice and stuff.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Never have I ever found an animal in a student's backpack.
I have never found an animal, but I have heard stories about animals and bugs.
Yeah, and I think we have found a dead animal in a backpack.
There was a mouse in a kid's backpack.
Oh my Lord, I would die.
There was a mouse in our building this week.
Stop.
Yeah, and
Stop.
it was in one of the teachers' rooms. I happened to
Stop.
walk by right after, and she's like, "Did you just hear what happened?" I'm like, "No." But on the positive note, the kids that she was testing at the time,
Never knew.
they did know, and they had never scored better than they did on those tests.
Maybe that's what she needs to
Yeah.
say.
What was I going to say with it? Oh, I did have a kid one time, so it's not in their backpack, but they had, like there's one of the birds had eggs out at the playground, which they're not supposed to mess with them. One of the kids took it, and they were like,
broke.
no.
Oh, I'm shocked it didn't break.
They eventually, because they know I'm the
Yeah.
egg lady, chicken lady, and they started asking me questions.
So you know.
And they were like, how would you keep, how would you get an egg to hatch? I'm like, we have to have an incubator. And they're like, well, what about, and what kind of bird would come out of an egg that had speckles? And I was like, all of a sudden I was like, this is seeming too
That's
much.
too
And
much
I was
detail.
like, do you have an egg? And they bring out of their pocket an egg. And I was like, where did you get it? Well, out at the playground. And I was
Oh.
like, I looked at him, I said, it's dead.
That's right.
I said, you have now removed it from it.
You are a murderer.
I was like, you have removed it from its natural place. It cannot get in an incubator. Like, we don't have it. We're not doing any of that stuff. It's now not going to survive. And they were like, big eyes. And I'm like, you just killed a bee.
That's awful. Now, listen, I have found another thing, a wet diaper that was, but I reached in there and there was a wet
You reached in the
and it was a wet diaper. And I don't
was
know
it
why.
closed up?
Yeah, it was closed up. Ugh.
Gross. So maybe thought it was the diaper bag.
I
Or they
think
had
so.
changed it and then it was just closed. Yeah.
Anyway, last one. Never have I ever eaten school lunch.
I've definitely eaten the school lunch.
Like 3 times this year. I don't like to, but when I have no groceries at home.
I know. I have
sad.
not this year.
Unfortunately.
I don't think. But you know what? School lunch is not as bad as it used to be.
Listen, there's some meals I actually really like, so I don't actually think it's
Man,
like.
you give me some potatoes and gravy one of those days.
Oh yes, with a chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah, chicken patty.
That's a good.
Chicken.
It's not a bad one. Not
No.
a bad one. To
I like the
forget your
grilled cheese
lunch.
and vegetable soup.
Yeah.
I like the chili and cinnamon roll.
Oh
My gosh, I actually like a lot of things.
Yeah, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I better add money to my account.
All right. That's everything then. Never have I ever.
Never happened.
All right. So my thought today is, my oldest, Abby,
Mhm.
she doesn't live at home. She lives a little bit away from us, 30 minutes, but it feels like forever.
Yeah.
Anyway, a couple of weeks ago, she texted us, and surprisingly, my phone was quiet, and Dave didn't hear it, but she just said, Mom, Dad, can you pray for me? I'm just feeling a lot of anxiety and worry. Well, we didn't hear it because we were dead asleep. And Maddie came in and said, Mom, Dad, Abby really would like you to call and just pray with her. So I said, I told Dave, I was like, I'll be the one that calls and prays with her. And so I called.
Mhm.
And when the phone rang, there was laughter. And I was like, what's going on? You know how you're dead asleep? And I said, what's going on? And Maddie said, this is your other daughter. You called the wrong one. This is the one that lives in the house with you. Call your other one. I was like, oh, okay. So I did call Abby. And she's like, Mom, she's like, I said, what's going on? She's like, I don't have any idea. She said, I just need you to pray over me. And so I prayed over her and I reassured her. And she's like, thank you. I feel so much better. But it just was a good reminder for me that isn't that what God wants us to do? Is just to be able to call him in the middle of the night and to pray out to him and that he's there and he listens to your prayer and listens to what you need, no matter when it is and no matter how small it is. And I found these scriptures this week that just was reassuring to me. Psalm 17:6, I will call on you, my God, for you will answer me. And Psalms 121, I took my troubles to the Lord. I cried out to him and he answered my prayer. And the last one is Isaiah 58:9. Then you will call and the Lord will answer. You will cry for help and he will say, here I am I. It doesn't mean he's going to fix everything and life's going to be perfect. But no matter what you're going through or what you're doing, all you have to do is just cry out to him and pray. And he is there and he'll be there in the middle of the night, in the middle of your day, in the early mornings, whatever you need. And it was just that comfort to me when, even though I was sound asleep and I didn't even know what I was doing, but just that my child would call and that I could call out to him to 40 miles away. I knew he would put her in his arms and he would surround her and he would give her peace to make it through whatever the devil was fighting her. And she said the next day, Mom, that helped me so much. I'm sorry I woke you up. And I said, listen, you wake me up every day, any day. That is fine. But it was like, there's just something comforting about that. And I just hope that's a good reminder for you guys. So.
Yeah, I love that. I think it's good for all of us to remember because sometimes we feel overwhelmed and
we don't think about the little things. Sometimes we only feel like, I have friends that say, oh, I just go to God for the big things. He cares about those tiny little things. And some things that we don't even know what we're praying about. It just, I feel a little worried. That's what he cares about.
I love that. Good reminder.
All right. Well, listen, we hope you have an amazing week, and we're so glad to see you and talk to you. Well, not really, but you get to talk
to
to
each
us.
other and see each other.
It feels like you're here with us.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's okay. Anyway, this is Listen.
Teacher chatter.
This is Robin.
And Jill.
Have a great day.